215 South Ramp.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Today we're testing out update 2020.4.1. We're going to be doing some Navigate on Autopilot testing. Let's go ahead and get into Navigate on Autopilot. First thing I want to see is if it can get onto the highway from the on-ramp. Up until now, we haven't been able to maneuver over to the left lane without intervention. So I'm gonna slow it down. Oh, we got traffic on our left. Let's go ahead and arrow over. Woohoo! So it didn't do that too well. Let's go ahead and get back in. So we're on 2020.4.1. We're going to be testing out the Navigate on Autopilot. We're going to be testing out lane changes. We're going to be testing out how well it keeps us in the road, if it's still ping-ponging like crazy like it has been. One thing I've noticed is that since the last couple updates, the lane changes are 100% flawless. They've been initiating perfectly, no cancellations, so that's been doing really well. We're not on Navigate on Autopilot yet. That starts once we get on the other side of this highway here. A lot of the roads are not set up for Navigate on Autopilot yet. On highways, it's mainly the freeways that have been around for a while that are all routed. I know whenever I take a trip to Laughlin, which is about 150 miles from Las Vegas, the highways out there are not on Navigate on Autopilot. So far, some things I've noticed while it's on autopilot is it's gauging the distance between cars really well. Let's see what I have it on right now. Let's see, it's on 5. So it does the slowing down and keeping with traffic really well, but I noticed they changed one thing. So whenever you're behind the car and the traffic takes off again, it doesn't shoot off as fast as it used to there. So for a long while, it was always a slow takeoff. Then for about 2 updates, they made it so when the car took off, your car took off quick. But now it seems to take off slow, then it hesitates and goes a little bit faster, and then it slows down. You'll see with this light here. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to when the light goes green. All right, the light's green, traffic's about to start moving. The Civic is pulled up, oh, and it jumped up a little bit. It looks like they've changed it since the last update because it's really jumpy now off of the initial acceleration. Let's see how autopilot navigates this little bit of construction here. So 2 things I'm going to be looking out for on this test drive is see if it can take us out of the fast lane once it moves us into the fast lane. We are on Mad Max mode, and I'm going to be initiating all the lane changes, so autopilot will prompt us. The second thing is ping-ponging. I want to see how well it's staying. That actually did really well there, better than the last couple of days. But see if it's, I'm going to speed up here to make it through this light. Oh, I still ran it. All right, so now we're in Navigate on Autopilot. So I want to see if it, okay, I'm going to arrow over, even though we have traffic, jumped in there quick. I want to see if it takes us out of the fast lane anymore and see how this ping-pong is doing. Let's go ahead and speed it up to 70. So right there, Mad Max moved us out of that slow lane pretty quick. Let's see if it'll move us back into the slow lane. I noticed on Dirty Tesla's video, he just got his hardware 3, and he was experiencing Navigate on Autopilot pulling him back out of the fast lane. So that is a fix. The question is it hardware 3 or is it the update 2020.4.1? So I'm just gonna let it go here for the fast lane for a minute. See if it prompts us to go back into the slow lane. I'm gonna do my best not to intervene. I will speed up and slow down when I need to, and anytime it asks me for a lane change, I'll go ahead and initiate. If it doesn't take us out of the fast lane, I'm gonna cancel Navigate on Autopilot, move over, and then put it back in Navigate on Autopilot. So that way it doesn't interfere with any me canceling the lane change. So it looks like it's not getting us out, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the right lane. I turned off navigate on autopilot. I'm gonna go ahead and initiate it again. Let's see how it's doing with the ping pong. And so far, I wanna say the ping pong is a lot better, because even through that small stretch there, I really didn't notice it ping ponging too much. But let's see how she does. We have our first exit coming up here. We're not taking the exit, but I wanna see if autopilot tries to get us into the exit lane, because that seems to be one of the problems. So as soon as the lane opens up over here, and it did really well, it kept us in our lane, didn't even pull over. So that's definitely an improvement there. So far the ping pong, it looks a lot better. This is a huge improvement if they fixed it, because it's just ridiculous, the ping ponging. I mean, people behind you think you're drunk. I mean, anytime it has to overcorrect just a little bit, it ping pongs about 4 or 5 times to get you back into center. So far so good. It's not asking us to do any lane changes yet. Let's go ahead and speed it up. Speed up to 73. It even handled that little transition really well. Before, it used to merge over when the lane widened, and it seemed like it handled that better. So we're getting close to traffic now. I'm wondering if Mad Max is going to go ahead and ask us to change lanes. Alright, first lane change. I'm going to go ahead and initiate it. Did that lane change flawlessly. Like I said, in the last few updates, they've really nailed down the lane changes, and it seems like it's doing way better on the ping ponging. They had a good 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks in between the last updates, so they had a lot of time to crush some bugs. I know in the release notes, I'll pull those up now. The only thing new they showed in this update was new additional vehicle information if you go to the settings. And then also they added more voice commands and phone improvements. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel autopilot, move back over to the slow lane since it's not changing me lanes, and go and initiate it again. A little bit of ping pong in there, just getting situated. Let's see how it handles this car merging on the highway here. Alright, autopilot's slowing down, 73, 72, it's locked on. Will it let him in? It kind of ping-ponged out there a little bit. It's slowing down like it wants to let him in. Now it's overtaking him. Said, hey, if you're not going to get in, we're just going to keep going. It did that really well. Alright, it's asking for a lane change to the left. We do have a car in the lane, but I'm going to go ahead and initiate the blinker. Still red. Now it's free, moved over quickly, so that did it very well. One thing is I wanted to let you guys know, I've been getting about 302 miles of charge on my long range rear wheel drive, and that is with 23,131 miles. Ping ponged a little there, but it seems like it's doing better than it was before. Go ahead and get back over into the slow lane. Obviously they haven't fixed this for hardware 2.5, so one thing you'll notice here is when traffic's slower, it'll pop up those lines and it'll start slowing you down. You see the lines there? So it's actually, when you have slower traffic in the far lane, autopilot slows down and detects that. And if there was a whole line of cars, it would obviously slow down a lot more. So far ping pong is doing pretty good, better than usual. If I'm not like complaining about every 5 seconds, it's doing really well compared to how it was. It's giving me the apply slight turning force to the steering wheel. And if I don't do anything, if I don't touch the steering wheel or any controls, this will eventually kick me out of autopilot. But I'm just going to adjust the speed there, and that'll do good for confirmation. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit and see if we can get some lane changes going here. Doing much better negotiating the lane. Like 6 updates ago, it was great. Then they had that big update rollout, and it was really bad since then. But now, doing really well. So traffic's moving pretty fast, so it's not really asking me to do much lane changes. We do have traffic slowing down a little bit here. Let's see what happens. It's asking me for a right lane change. Let's go ahead and do that. For some reason in this area, it always does the right lane change. Then it wants me to get back over and then back over. Let's see what happens. So it's got the arrows here. We got slower traffic. It is locked on there. Oh, going through a little bit of construction. So you can see it here. I have it at 79, but it's going 74 because it notices the slower lane. So it's negotiating that. See how it does for this exit. Did perfect. Didn't go towards the exit at all. Slow it down just a little bit. So Model Y release is coming soon. They're looking to be doing deliveries probably by the end of the month, but they're saying for sure by the end of the quarter. I'm super excited. I think we're gonna, oh, we got a car jumping in. Autopilot slowed down well. Got a lot of traffic navigating there. I think we're gonna hold out for the standard range Model Y with full self-driving. It's gonna be my wife's car, so that's kind of what we're hoping for there. But the long range dual motor looks really, really promising, and you know they're gonna add that acceleration boost to it for a couple thousand later. So I mean, if you want the performance without all the extra wheels and, you know, bells and whistles, you almost want to get the dual motor and then just get the speed increase, if that's what they're going to do. We'll have to see. I'm going to turn off autopilot and turn it back on because it's not asking me to do any lane changes. We're going to speed it up. I'm not sure if it's just traffic or Mad Max, but I mean, technically, all right, there's our first lane change. Technically, I don't like to be moving a lot of making a lot of lane changes, to tell you the truth. I like to just stick to my lane, make sure traffic's flowing. So I don't really mind it. But for testing purposes, I wanted to initiate as much as possible. So we got more traffic. It's asking me to do another left change to the left. They got into our lane and slowed down, so autopilot reacted quickly. See, I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up and get in front of this car. Right lane change. It's slowing me down, merging. Again, I don't like how it does the slow down merge. I'd rather do the speed up merge. Because now it's, well, I mean, I know what it's doing. It's adjusting to the traffic based on how my distance here. But I'd still like to see it merge, then slow down. Let's go ahead and merge again to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and exit the freeway, loop around so we can test this on the other side. For some reason, they've been doing so much construction to this highway that I've been getting different results on the other side of the highway. So let's flip it around, try it out. So far though, this 2020.4.1, I'm loving it. Ping ponging has gone away a lot. And that was a big problem. I don't mind it ping-ponging around so much as that the other cars around me get really scared. Anytime it starts ping-ponging, you can see the cars moving to the right, moving to the left. It's like, you know, like when you see a drunk driver on the road, you know, you kind of want to stay away from them. All right, so we're gonna flip a U-turn here on Charleston, get back on the 215 heading west, or heading east. If this traffic gets moving. This is some weird fucking traffic. Excuse my language, I'm editing that out.
Now make a U-turn at Hughes Park Drive.
Alright, we're getting back on the 215 heading east. I'm gonna put it in navigate on autopilot as soon as we get onto the ramp here and see how she does with traffic. Alright, we're on. Autopilot's on, set to 65. Let's see what she does. We've got a nice wide lane opening up here. It's asking me to put my hands on the steering wheel because of the wide lane. And it navigated that really well. I moved over to the center here, but wow, that was really good. So as soon as we get going and we get the broken line here, we're gonna arrow over to the left. Let's see if autopilot asks us. I doubt it will, but we're gonna arrow over anyway. We've got lots of traffic coming up. Let's go ahead and arrow over. Boom, it jumped over there quick. Very well done. Now it's asking me to get over to the right lane, not sure why. Let's go ahead and it says current to follow the route. Oh yeah, because I got the navigation on. So let's change the route. Navigate to Costco. I'm gonna pull up another route. And now we are back on navigate on autopilot. Speed it up to 75, see what she does here. So the traffic in front of us is going about roughly the same rate of speed. It's asking for a left lane change. We're clear. So far, I'm loving it. We're taking the Tesla out on a little trip to Laughlin tonight, and even though I can't do navigate on autopilot on that trip, I'll be excited to see how the autopilot works. Much better holding true to the road. Thank you, Tesla. I know they've got an army of engineers working on the autopilot team, and they are just doing amazing. So thank you guys if you're watching. All right, let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Yeah, it's holding way more true. Lane changes are doing great. Now I just wish I had hardware 3. I can't wait for them to roll out that full self-driving on the city streets. I love using autopilot on the city streets. Alright, so it's giving us the warning. We'll go ahead and clear that. Let's go ahead and speed it up to 80 and see if we can get some passing action here. Traffic moves fast on this highway here in Las Vegas. So we're set at 82, we're going 76, it's traveling behind this guy. Let's go ahead and space out our cruise distance. Or let's narrow the gap on the cruise distance to see if it makes us do a lane change. So far it's just keeping us in our lane, which normally I would do if we were just driving. You know, like I'm not in a rush to get around this guy, but here we go, left lane change initiated. Autopilot prompted us. So it's really strange that Dirty Tesla was able to get with hardware 3. Now his navigate on autopilot was taking him out of the fast lane, which to me it just seems like maybe they have 2 separate teams, one working on 2.5 hardware and one working on 3 hardware. Because you would think that they would roll out the bugs at the same time and squash them all. All right, so let's go ahead and slow it down here. Want to get over to the right lane as soon as possible. I don't think autopilot's going to do it, but let's try to merge in between these 2 cars. We're just enough distance. Let's see what happens. So autopilot slowed us down a little bit, moved us over and squeezed in there. That did pretty good. I'm not going to take it off autopilot this time. I want to see if it remembers. Even though I initiated getting out of the fast lane, I want to see if it puts us back into the fast lane. So far, it doesn't look like it. Let me go ahead and cancel autopilot and then go back into autopilot. Let's see if it asks us to merge. Speed it up a little. So we're doing 75. It's tracking this truck behind us doing 65. Should ask us for a lane change at any time. I know. Oh, that truck it was locked onto from behind. That was strange. And it was still locked on all the way up there. So is it going to ask us to lane change? Let's speed it up to 80. 85. It must be because we have so much traffic here that doesn't make sense to change lanes. I mean, that would be my guess. Let's see if once that traffic right there clears up. Yep. Oh, Ooh, it just cut right in front of this car, but it moved over quick enough, so that was crazy. I got the lane change moved over. That car was actually aggressively pulling up, and Autopilot just overtook him. Let's go ahead and slow it back down to 80. This traffic's moving fast. Did a little ping pong there, but it's just because these roads are so new. It's handling it very well. You'll see a little bit of that here and there when it's taking curves, but oh, it slowed down a little bit there. Looks like traffic's slowing down. Give it a little pressure. If you've never driven on Autopilot, you are missing out. It's fantastic. It really, I mean, right now I'm doing a test, so I'm super hyper aware, but it's just so nice. It takes so much of the pressure off, a lot of the stress and tension. With that being said, if you do have Autopilot and you have a Tesla, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you guys like the video, hit like, hit subscribe, tune in for the next ones. We've got a lot of stuff coming to the channel. We've got Model Y coming soon. We've got full self-driving coming soon. It's going to be amazing. Go ahead and turn it off. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up here for the video. My impressions of 2024.1, it's absolutely amazing. They fixed a lot of the ping-ponging issues, like right there. It just ping-ponged just one time and centered right back up. So they fixed the lane changes. They fixed the ping-ponging. Autopilot's getting better day after day. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.